Imagine a society where a man would rather, well, effectively die emotionally than marry the woman he desires, all because of something that happened when he was a child.
And what if that woman figures she has to save him and secure her own future by taking matters into her own hands in a really intimate way?
That's just a little taste of the complexities we're getting into today.
And just so you know, you are experiencing a unique two-voice AI conversation. This is powered by Google's NotebookLM, and it's designed for deeper, more dynamic book analysis.
In this analysis, we're delving into a truly compelling book, one that explores the intricate dance between societal expectations and these really deep personal battles. Before we really jump in, a quick mention for those of you seeking further insights and maybe some rational thought inspired by the books we discuss, please be sure to explore our YouTube channel, Mindful Moments.
Yeah, it offers unique AI book analysis, really designed to inspire reflection.
Okay, so let's start with the Duke's burden. This story really begins with the 9th Duke of Hastings, Simon's father, and his desperate pursuit of an heir.
Desperate is the word. He's past 40, the Duchess has already lost 2 babies, and the measures he takes for the next pregnancy are, well, extreme.
Extreme how?
We're talking 6 months of recuperation for her, strict bed confinement, doctors visiting every single day.
Wow.
He even hires the most respected doctor in London to actually live at Cliveden Castle for a while.
Live there?
Yeah, and the Duchess. Propped up at a 20-degree angle for a whole month, the focus was entirely solely on siring a perfect little son. It tells you a lot about the pressure, doesn't it?
It really does. And he does get a son, Simon Arthur Henry Fitzronald Basset. But the joy is incredibly short-lived. The heartbreak starts almost immediately.
Yeah, because at age 4, Simon finally utters his first full word, and it's no.
Defiant from the start.
Followed immediately by a really severe stammer, and the father's reaction. It's just brutal.
Brutal is putting it mildly. He calls Simon a half-wit.
And declares, I can't even look at him. Just devastating rejection from the person whose approval you crave most.
But then you have Nurse Hopkins.
Ah, yes. A counterpoint. She becomes Simon's champion, doesn't she?
Absolutely. She vows to show him, meaning the Duke, what Simon is capable of. She spends every waking minute teaching Simon to speak.
And it works, to a degree. By age 6, the stammer is much better. By 8, he can manage whole sentences, though.
It comes back when he's upset. Right?
Exactly. That vulnerability is still there. But the Duke, he doesn't see the progress. His cruelty just continues.
Still taunting his speech, calling him my worst failure.
It's relentless. And this rejection leads Simon, at just 8 years old, to make this solemn vow.
The vow that defines everything.
Pretty much. If he couldn't be the son his father wanted, then by God, he'd be the exact opposite. This vow, made in childhood pain, becomes the absolute core of his adult decisions.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How deeply childhood trauma and that desperate need for a parent's approval can just shape your entire life, leading to these huge, often self-destructive choices.
Absolutely. And all this personal drama is playing out against the backdrop of Regency London and its grand obsession.
Marriage. And who better to chronicle it than Lady Whistledown?
Ah, yes. Lady Whistledown's Society Papers, the sort of anonymous, all-seeing eye of London gossip.
She meticulously tracks everyone, especially the prolific Bridgerton family.
Noting their alphabetical names, their looks, ensuring everyone knows they're legitimate, even if their coloring isn't quite fashionable. It shows how managed public perception was.
Or how attacked it could be. And at the center of the Bridgertons' marriage efforts is Violet, the Viscountess.
A formidable force, though her kids sometimes think she's maybe not subtle enough.
Right. The interactions between Daphne and Violet really show Lady Whistledown's power. Violet pretends not to care, but...
Oh, she reads every word, especially if it involves her daughter's prospects. It's all about appearances.
And into this buzzing society comes the new Duke of Hastings, Simon, back after 6 years away.
And Lady Whistledown makes sure everyone knows he only returned after his father died. Very pointed.
She does highlight his intelligence, though a first in maths from Oxford.
Yeah, despite his past as a bit of a hellion, it sets the stage, creates intrigue.
And a key piece here is Simon's friendship with Anthony Bridgerton.
Best friends. Which complicates things later, obviously.
Hugely. Anthony is fiercely protective of his sisters, especially Daphne. He warned Simon about the society mothers, the fire-breathing dragons.
He and his brothers, Benedict and Colin, they're terrified of their own mother's matchmaking. They're desperate to save Daphne from unsuitable guys like Nigel Burbrook.
Who we'll get to.
It's just stark, isn't it? The sheer pressure on young women and their families to snag a good marriage, and how gossip like Whistledown's just fueled all that anxiety.
Yeah, how could real feelings even survive that kind of environment? Which brings us to Lady Danbury's ball and an unlikely alliance starting.
Right. Daphne's cornered by that persistent Nigel Burbrook.
You just won't take no for an answer. So Daphne does something rather unexpected for a lady of that time.
Unexpected is one word for it. She punches him, square in the jaw.
Not exactly the demure debutante.
No, it definitely shows she has spirit. And who should stumble upon this scene?
Simon, of course, trying to avoid the exact sort of social maneuvering she's resisting.
And he's instantly intrigued. He sees her face, her eyes, her mouth, finds her compelling, even though she's not the typical society beauty.
And he laughs at what she did, which creates this immediate spark.
A spark that kind of short-circuits when he finds out who she is.
Daphne Bridgerton, Anthony's little sister.
Oops, he's horrified, realizes he was just lusting, even for a second, after his best mate's sister. Big social no-no.
The dynamic is fascinating. Daphne, having grown up with 4 brothers, thinks she's immune to rakes.
Says Simon's humor is too good to be truly cruel.
But Simon, he thinks she's an annoying little chit, but also admits she's a good sport. Someone he might be friends with, if she were a man.
He's definitely conflicted and completely fed up with all the matchmaking attempts aimed at him.
Which leads him to this pretty radical idea.
The fake courtship.
Exactly. Let's pretend we're attached. It'll scare off the other women chasing me, and it'll make you, Daphne, seem more desirable when I eventually let you cry off.
A purely strategic move, or so he thinks. And Daphne agrees, mostly to escape her mother's relentless efforts.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? That line between strategy and real feelings. Can a cynical bargain like this actually lead somewhere genuine?
Well, the charade begins, and Simon actually makes a rather thoughtful gesture.
The tulips.
Yes. He brings these incredibly expensive tulips for Violet, Daphne's mother, on his first official call.
And Violet hasn't received flowers since her husband died. She's genuinely touched.
Deeply. And Daphne sees this, sees her mother's reaction, and has this quiet thought.
She'd be a fool if she didn't fall in love with him. Already the lines are blurring for her.
But old issues surface. Simon's stammer makes a comeback.
Ah, yes. Especially around Anthony, or when discussing Daphne or his past.
Right, when he gets angry or upset, it slips out. He tries to brush it off, dust in my throat or something.
But it's a clear sign of that unresolved trauma bubbling up.
Definitely. Then there's the family outing to Greenwich.
Which has some light moments. Hyacinth is adorable.
She is. Telling Simon he has her approval to marry Daphne, but if not, could he please wait for her?
So charming. But then, a more serious note, Simon tells Daphne, point blank,
I have no intention of marrying, and it is unlikely that I shall ever have children. Very definitive.
leaving Daphne with this vague disappointment, even amidst the pretense.
And the outing ends rather wetly, doesn't it?
Yes. Gregory knocks both Simon and Anthony into the Thames.
Total chaos. But Lady Bridgerton somehow keeps a straight face. It shows that Bridgerton resilience, that ability to handle anything, even sobby sons-in-law or potential sons-in-law.
Exactly. It's these moments that show how family, both frustrating and supportive, shapes things, and how that past trauma keeps peeking through.
Which brings us to the core deception. Things escalate quickly.
Lady Whistledown is there to report on the utterly moronic duel.
Between Simon and Anthony, yes. Because Simon was seen kissing Daphne in a garden. Defilement. Dishonor.
All very dramatic. Whistledown jokes that an angel of sensibility must have intervened because they both walk away unharmed.
But only because Daphne takes matters into her own hands. Again.
She physically stops the deal, runs out there, punches Simon.
In his good eye.
Then tells him to fall down, you idiot. Just desperate to save him.
And it works? Sort of. Under pressure, Simon agrees to marry her, but then he delivers the line.
I can't have children.
Framing it as a physical problem, he thinks it's almost the truth, and crucially, gives her an out, a chance to refuse.
But Daphne's in love. She wants to save him. So she agrees, hoping maybe he's wrong or maybe it doesn't matter.
Except, the truth is much, much more complex, and it comes out later. From Mrs. Coulson, the housekeeper at
Right. She tells Daphne about Simon's childhood. He couldn't speak. Not a word until he was 4.
And then it was all stutters and stammers. She reveals the full extent of his father's cruelty.
Calling him stupid, storming about, even telling people Simon was dead.
Unbelievable cruelty. And this reveals the true source of Simon's vow, the depth of his pain.
And then Mrs. Coulson says something quite innocently.
About needing strong, healthy seed for a womb to quicken.
And suddenly, Daphne understands. It clicks.
Simon's cannot wasn't about physical ability. It was about will. He can have children.
He just won't. Because of that childhood vow to end his father's line. It's a stunning realization for her.
Monumental. And armed with this knowledge, Daphne makes a very proactive decision on their wedding night.
Yeah, she deliberately initiates sex and takes active steps to try and conceive.
Hoping to break his vow for him, essentially. Born out of love, maybe desperation.
But it raises huge questions, doesn't it? About consent, communication, manipulation born from trauma. What lines get crossed?
Absolutely. And Simon's reaction is explosive. He feels utterly betrayed, deceived.
He withdraws completely, leaves that cold, curt note.
My efforts were met with success. I have removed myself to London. Await your directive there. Just cold.
But Daphne doesn't give up. She thinks she might be pregnant, so she follows him to London.
Confronts her brothers, gets Anthony involved.
Anthony gives Simon Daphne's letter, forcing Simon to face the possibility she is pregnant. And despite everything, he returns.
And the confrontation when he sees her, realizes she isn't pregnant. It's incredibly emotional.
He finally breaks down. I want you back.
And then he says it, the real fear, I don't want my child to suffer as I have suffered. That's the heart of it all.
It's devastating. But Daphne's response, it's perfect. It's the key.
So simple, yet so profound. But he wouldn't suffer, she says.
Because you'll be his father.
Boom. Right there. Offering him a completely different possibility. A way to break the cycle, not repeat it.
You see the shift in him then. That odd, new, almost hopeful light in his eyes.
And crucially, he doesn't read his father's letters. He chooses to let go of that past.
It's a conscious decision to heal.
And the story ends with them having moved forward. They have a son, David.
And Simon, holding his son, makes a new vow. A loving vow.
Don't you worry, my little man. I shall love you always. I'll teach you. I shall protect you. Even from Lady Whistledown.
It's such a powerful ending. It shows that healing is possible, that cycles can be broken. It makes you think about empathy, understanding, facing those deep fears, how vital they are to building a different, healthier future.
So we've really journeyed through quite a tale here. Love, deception, serious personal growth, all within those pretty rigid confines of Georgian society.
The characters are just so complex, aren't they? Their struggles, their motivations. There's a lot to unpack.
Definitely. It's fascinating how that weight of the past, Simon's trauma especially, just dictated everything and almost ruined his chance at happiness. The book really nails that struggle between, duty, desire, and that long, hard road to actually healing.
And Daphne's resolve, her love, it was fierce. It really showed Simon that some promises, some vows maybe, are meant to be broken if it leads to a fuller life.
Yeah, the story really leaves you with that powerful idea, doesn't it? That real love and maybe finding the courage to face the past, it can heal even the deepest wounds.
For more deep analytical insights into compelling stories like this one and other thought-provoking discussions, do check out Mindful Moments on our YouTube channel.
And listen to more of our podcasts, wherever you happen to find your favorite audio.
If this analysis intrigued you today, please consider subscribing and maybe share it with someone else who loves a good story with some real intellectual depth to it.
You can find a link to purchase this book in our description if you're interested.
Most importantly, though, keep thinking critically about the stories you engage with. Think about the human experiences they reveal underneath the plot.
We look forward to our next analysis with you.